Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, we have a WIP Chat. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current WIP, WIP, which is work in progress. You can pull out whatever it is that you are working on and work alongside with it, whether it be a craft project or a household project. You could you listen while you're doing your chores around the house, while you're meal prepping, while you're cooking, while you're working, while you're doing pretty much anything you want to be doing. I have people tell me that they like to listen when they drive, which, like, you must have a great data plan, because I do not. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming back. So, I'm going to address the mini elephant in the room, and I'm sure people are probably like, I didn't even notice. If you take notice at all in this video, if you watch or glance up from time to time, you may notice that my fingernails look pink, purple, and not because I've got nail polish on them. I actually got my hair done this week, and if you haven't seen it, I dyed my hair hot pink, and I am at that stage where, like, the dye isn't fully off my scalp yet, and every time I scratch my head or, whatever, it's still seeping into my skin and my fingernails, and I can't seem to get it off. So, just going to address that. But I hope that you guys are all doing well. I hope that for anyone who celebrated Father's Day over the past weekend, that they or their loved ones had a wonderful Father's Day. If for you, Father's Day is hard because you are missing a parent, or you have a strained relationship with a parent, or struggling to be a parent, or wanting to be a parent, things like that, I hear you, I see you, my thoughts go out to you guys. So I just want to address that. I know holidays like Mother's Day and Father's Day can be very polarizing depending on who you are in your, current situation or your circumstances. A lot of us have lost people, or have had strained relationships with people, or just didn't become the person we expected to be, and those kinds of holidays can be really difficult. So I do want to acknowledge that if that was a difficult day for you, that you're not alone, and I can totally relate. So I hope that you guys all had a lovely week, day, month, whatever, since the last time you saw me. I did put up another one of my DIY Moonshop videos. If you guys have not seen the latest unboxing, I will link that one up in the eye for you guys. That one was a cutie. It was one of the Sybil arts that I got. So, if you guys were following from when I did my first unboxing of this, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I ordered 3 DIY Moonshop kits. They had a 50% off sale, and I got 3 kits, and I unboxed all of them, and then I went to upload, and I noticed that at that time, the website was essentially down, with the exception of, like, 4 ready-to-ship items. And I did a poll on my Instagram, and I talked to a couple people that, I don't love being like, look at this gorgeous diamond painting, but you can't have it because it's not available for purchase, unless I'm specifying that I am unboxing, like, a discontinued kit or something like that. And I'm not really sure what's going on with them, and it's, it's neither here nor there. I'm frustrated by the situation, the way things are being handled, but, right now, they've got, like, diamond painting charts available, and then only a couple of them, and then you go and source your own drill and canvas, the way that, like, Heaven and Earth Design sells the cross-stitch patterns, and you do all the rest. I'm not sure if that's, like, the first step of a multi-step plan or what, but, I felt awkward uploading videos, being like, here's something I think is super cute, but I'm sorry you can't get it, and I'm not sure if you're ever going to be able to. So, hopefully that didn't bother anybody too much. I've got one more left in that order of 3, and I'm still pretty torn on uploading that one. I'm probably going to upload it. Because it was not my favorite situation to be in. Anywho, I'm rambling. What's new? If you guys are new here, yeah, I'm like this all the time. Total tangent. Because I was just going to be like, oh, my neurodivergent brain. People who are neurodivergent, do you guys use the term neurospicy to describe yourself? Because I don't at all. And I actually find it really irritating. And I don't know why. But I'm just curious. If my fellow neurodivergent brained friends do. And if you do, that's awesome. If you don't, that's awesome. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Anyway, I am still working on my Peony Elf. This is a canvas from Carat.Art. This has an insane amount of confetti. Like, insane amount of confetti. Which I should have known going into it there would be, because has 61 colors, and it's only a 55 by 58, I think it is. If you guys missed it and you'd like to see the unboxing for this one, I will leave that up in the eye. Let me make a note here. You know, I did this the last time. I just put timestamps down, and I didn't write what they were for, and then I went to edit, and I was like, what was I trying to convey here? Didn't take me that long. And when I say edit, I mean like literally just adding the cards in the eye and like my intro and outro and music, and like not full on editing. I mean, to each their own. Although I would like to, I feel like I say this every year, I'd like to upgrade and get a computer in the next year. I'm hoping with like back to school stuff around the corner that there will be some good deals on computers and things like that. Because I would really, really love to get my phone to be my phone and my computer, which I don't even own a computer right now, but my computer to do all of my like editing on, so that I can kind of like reclaim my phone. Which, speaking of my phone, not that anyone asked, so I was going through, where was that color? Anybody else do that? You like put the drill on and then you're like, crap, where did that color go? Well, I'm sure I'm missing more. But I erased like 800 photos from my phone the other day. Apparently I had like super old screenshot album. And if you guys didn't know, my kiddo and I are brand reps for a couple small shop, mainly clothing. Like we have one that's a shoe shop, one that's handmade clothing, one that is handmade socks, and some other, she's branched out to some other pieces of, what is on my tray? And the one shop that I repped for at one point had screenshot requirements, which was annoying, but I did it, and I found this album, and it had like a million different screenshots that I just never erased. And so when I went to sit down to record today, right now, I was like, how do I have no memory on my phone to record when I just erased 800 photos? Damn it, Lindsay. I don't know what it is about this particular symbol, but I am always missing it. Always. I'm going to leave it out on the desk. The whatever. Oh my god. What is going on with me today? What was I just talking about? I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. Guys. Oh, and then I went to record, and it said I had like 44 minutes worth of like video available. And I'm like, damn, what the hell? I just erased all these things. There should be a lot more memory. I downloaded a game. I got a targeted ad that I've been playing for the last couple days. And it legit took that much memory off my phone. And I was like, well, all right, I guess you're done. So hopefully when I'm done recording this, I can actually save it and it not mean I have to erase 700 other more things. There's so much confetti in this, you guys. I feel like I'm all over the place. Have I even told you guys anything about my week? So last week I had mentioned, because I was sitting down to record on a Monday, and I had mentioned something briefly about I was having a hard time and I didn't really want to go into it, and I'm still not going to go into it. At the end of the day, I share a lot with you guys about my life, and I'm never required to, and I never feel like I'm required to share more than I'm comfortable with. But some days I feel more comfortable sharing some things than others, if that makes any sense. So, I'm just going to say that we had plans that just didn't pan out the way that I had hoped, and the way the situation was handled was very frustrating and very upsetting. So our whole entire schedule shifted for the week. So I had all these plans of like doing certain things that I couldn't do, and not doing certain things that I ended up doing. And it was just a very interesting week overall. And I'm going to tell you guys about it now. So we had taken my daughter on Monday to an activity, and then while that was going on, my husband and I did the adult thing and got groceries for lunch, which we ended up having Rachel's. They were so good. Ugh, you guys, I love a good Rachel. So I know you guys have probably heard me say, like, I don't do chicken. Every once in a while I will, but it is definitely not a preference at all. And in all honesty, it grosses me out more than it is enjoyable. Anyway, I do like turkey, though, and sometimes people get, like, confused because they're like, but it's poultry, and it's like, well, for those who eat chicken every day, are you also eating duck regularly? Because that's also poultry. Anyway, I digress. But, we went to a different market than, like, it's the same chain, but a different location because of where we were, and it was very interesting how different their selection of things were. But oh my god, we got stuck at the deli because I am somewhat particular about deli turkey. Like, a lot of, like, the cheapy brands, to me, they get kind of slimy and gross, and I'm not really down with that. But we were waiting in line for what felt like forever, and this girl, like, literally pulled out, I don't know if it was a screenshot or a to-do list or whatever on her phone of the different deli things she needed and exactly how they were. And I was like, I'm going to be here forever. And then finally another employee stepped up and was like, oh, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, because there was one employee working back there, and he seemed like he was still very, very new. And I have no problem. I'm usually patient when I need to be. Although I feel like I have no patience when it comes to, like, dealing with my own child sometimes, but, you know, that's life. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not missing. Sometimes when they kind of overlap, like if you didn't get them perfectly where they need to go, the one symbol looks like a different symbol. See, I told you guys, I'm just going to keep this color out because I missed yet another one of it. But anyway, Monday ended up being enjoyable for my husband and I. We went to Starbucks together, and we got to do a couple things while she was busy having fun, and I was excited about that. And I had a busy week ahead, and I was looking forward to it. And it just kind of sucks that it didn't pan out the way that I anticipated. And it was just, you know, like when plans fall through in general, like it sucks. But when they fall through and it is something that, like, you rearrange, like, your whole schedule for, like, that's super shitty. So, anyway, we did that, and then I had a chiropractor appointment in the afternoon. You guys, I love my chiropractor. I don't know if I've told you guys this before or not, but I go once every month. Although I feel like I should be like, can you guys, like, squeeze me back in, like, once every 3 weeks? Because I feel like maybe I'm just not stretching enough at home, but I feel like I'm just struggling recently. I've got some sciatica pain, and I can tell you one of the reasons that it's getting worse at this moment is that I don't like wearing, like, real shoes in the summer, and I know that's not good for my body. My back does not appreciate my, $10 Target flip-flops, but it is what it is. But they stretch me. Oh my god, you guys, they stretch me so good. I was on the decompression table. If you guys don't know what that is, like, it's a table, you get strapped to it, and everybody's weight on it is different. But for me, I am currently being stretched with 110 pounds Like, they literally are stretching my body because my spine is really scrunched together in certain places, and that's why it is a decompression table. But sometimes it feels way more satisfying than others, and this was one of those times. I feel like I'm at a really weird angle to see some of these symbols. Also, if you guys hear the noises in the background, it is really hot. Today is a high of, I think, like 89 degrees. And when we came home, it was 74 degrees in the house, which for some people that might not be that bad. But then I'm 3 stories up with like very low. There is one air conditioning vent in this floor, but it's over where my husband sits, and it's like at the ground. It does nothing. Although he might argue that it does, but yeah. So it's hot, and I have fans going all the time in the summer here. And it's been a while since I've had to address noise, which nobody said anything. I'm just pointing that out. Guys, I am on a roll. Like 15 minutes in, talking about a whole lot of nothing. But anyway, I had our ice skating coach, has told us that we should switch from our tots, which is what we've been doing for a very long time, 2 years, which is 8 and under, I think, to the regular Learn to Skate program, because this current session that's signed up for tots is all beginner skaters, and my daughter she's technically, I think, basic 3, which I know probably means nothing to the majority of you, and that's totally fine, but my kid can actually, like, ice skate. And so you got a lot of kids that have never been on the ice before, or have only been on the ice a handful of times, and she doesn't get as much out of it when her peers are not at the same level as her, which makes sense, and I'm not opposed to it. But the thing that sucks is that tots was Tuesday mornings, and where did that color go? It's the same one, by the way. We should have like a counter on the screen. Editing Lindsay does not want to do that, but just, I guess I'll try to be aware of me continuously saying, oh, there's the same color I missed. But anyway, so it went from Tuesday mornings to Monday nights. Not a big deal, but it's 5:40 to 6:40. So either we have to eat dinner like hella early, because it's a half hour away, plus you got to give yourself enough time to not get stuck in rush hour traffic and to get ready at the rink. Then if we go afterwards to eat dinner, then she's not getting home till much later, and, bedtime happens. So fortunately for us, there's a McDonald's right there, and I was like, girl, you want some McDonald's? And she's like, yeah. Is it the best thing to be eating after ice skating? No, but in this moment, it was about, like, what's convenient and what's easy. Now that we know that this is going to be, like, our new time slot, we'll probably have to figure that out a little bit better. And, like, my husband has said, like, he can stay home and cook while I take her to the lesson, but the problem is, by the time she gets out of ice skating, it doesn't matter if it's in the morning or the afternoon or the evening, she's always really hungry, which makes sense because she's been burning a lot of calories and skating and, all of that fun stuff. But I don't know that if I got her out of there 6:40, 6:45, 7 o'clock, and then drove home a half hour, that she would have it in her to, like, wait that long to eat a real meal. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. If you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. She's pretty good. Like, she can eat in the car depending on what it is. So, it might just be one of those things that, like, mom and dad end up having to sacrifice having a real meal so that she can have something. I'm making sure these colors have already been laid down. You guys, this is crazy. Like, this right here, this section with all of the whiteness, this is all her hair. And see how many colors are in this? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me how much confetti is in this. Anyway, so we ended up going to McDonald's, and then I don't eat McDonald's, so there's an Arby's right there, and I ended up I was just like, all right, I'll take mozzarella sticks and fries. And I got the fries with the cheese dip. Cool. So my husband ran in to pick up the order, and we're divvying out the food. Briar's eating her Happy Meal in the back, very, very excited. Which, did you guys see, and I don't know if this is internationally or not, but they are coming out with Squishmallow Happy Meals this summer. I'm so excited. Briar loves her squishes. So I think this is going to be fun. I was talking to an acquaintance of mine, and she's like, I bet you this is going to be just like the Beanie Babies. And I was like, except for that, I think all of us are now smart enough to realize that, like, these are not going to be valuable in the future the way we all thought Beanie Babies were. And if you are somebody who has no idea what I'm talking about, because you are of a totally different generation or whatever, back, like, in the 90s, Beanie Babies were a big thing. They were toys. And then they had the miniature versions of them available in the Happy Meals. And it, like, there was this huge thing that they were going to be worth so much money in the future and blah, blah, blah. And they have, like, with the exception of a handful of ones that are super rare, there's no value to them. And so, like, thousands and thousands of people hung on to their Beanie Babies for absolutely nothing. My mother was one of them, by the way. But anyway, so and he goes, there's no French fries in here. I was like, what? So he ran inside, and the person who gave him his order was like, there's no French fries on the ticket. And he's like, yes, there is. And I'm thinking, what did they think that I got the cheese dip for? To dip my mozzarella stick in? Because it was ordered with the French fries. I don't know. And my husband didn't get fries. So it wasn't like, oh, it goes with his fries. Anyway, I just got to figure out something better for the foreseeable future. And so now, like, I was getting really sad because if Briar does AM kindergarten, then Tots is not going to be viable anyway. But it was funny. So the way Tots work, or the way the Learn to Skate works at this rink, because as I'll tell you later this week, we picked up another Learn to Skate at a different rink. The way it works is at this rink, it's broken into 15 minutes of free skate, a half hour Learn to Skate lesson, and then 15 minutes of free skate. In the first 15 and last 15, you can use that time to take a private lesson with one of the coaches. So my daughter saw her Learn to Skate coach, and she was like, oh, I'm going to just skate with her. However, she was teaching another little kiddo. And I can tell, like, my daughter did not understand that her coach was in the middle of a private lesson. And it's not like it's private ice. There's everybody that's taking Learn to Skate is out there. And I felt absolutely terrible because I was like, oh my God, my kid is just totally latching on to another kid's lesson. Well, the little girl is about Briar's age. They're the same level. She didn't interfere with the girl being able to do her lesson, and her mom was sitting right behind us, and I was like, I am so sorry. Like, my daughter does not understand that your daughter is currently in a private lesson. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Now, I don't know if she said something to our coach later and was like, can we make sure that that doesn't happen again? Because, you know, I don't know how else to explain it to her. Like, during free skate, you have to skate. But she just goes, oh, well, Cindy, which is her coach, is doing something that she knows how to do, so she's just going to do it. And it's just like, so it was a little bit frustrating, but thankfully the mother was super cool about it, at least to us. But now that this is our new Learn to Skate lessons, at least Briar will have like a little buddy, because her daughter is almost 5 and Briar's 5.5, so you know, depending on when her almost 5 is actually, because, you know, some people will be like, oh yeah, they're almost 5 when they're like 4.5. They'll probably be both in kindergarten in the fall. I'm sure not in the same school district, but just, anyway, you guys, sometimes I feel like I can't keep myself on my own track, even though, like, I've got notes. Like, anyway, I hope that you guys are all doing well, and I haven't lost you by now, but, where was that? Yes, that was our Monday, and it was nice. It's going to take a little getting used to of us switching so much around, and, you know, we kind of planned things around knowing we had tots and having to adjust our schedule for things that now we don't need to adjust our schedule for, but Tuesday, I had plans to hang out with Erica. So I went to Erica's house of Kevin's Creations, Erica, and we just sat and we diamond painted together for a while. And, you know, we just you know, you're there to shoot the shit and just hang out with a friend. Super fun. If you guys have not diamond painted with somebody that you know in real life, I highly recommend. I've done it over Zoom before, or like Facebook video chat, and that's also fun. But there's nothing like actually sitting in front of someone and diamond painting. But she had invited my family over for dinner. So when I was leaving at the end of the night, like, we all had dinner at their house, and then my husband and daughter took me home. And it was just super nice. Like, if you guys ever get a chance to meet Erica, I offer every single time, can I bring something? You know, can I help? And it's always no, you're fine. You don't need to. And I'm like, I know I don't need to, but I'd like to, because I don't want to feel like I am just coming to your house and just eating all your food. And I'm sure she doesn't feel that way. And if she does, she's never said anything to me, but I feel like that's how it's coming across. And I'm like, I just want to help. But she always tells me, every time you're here, I get so much done. And I'm like, do you? Because I feel like in the middle of a diamond painting, now you're making lunch, and you're making dinner, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. So I'm like, well, you know. But it's always a fun time when I go hang out over there. So, hi, Erica. I'm sure you're watching this. It was fun. Let's do it again. And I am just so all over the place. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Whoa. I forgot I just filled my tumbler before I came up, and that was a lot heavier than I was anticipating. Somehow I lost my tumbler in my house this week, which was fun. And my husband's like, I don't see it anywhere. And I'm like, I know I had it. I just had it. And it turns out I put it on my daughter's little, like, snack table. Why? I don't know. But I did, and it took like an hour. And then my husband was like, I found it. Maybe it wasn't an hour, but it felt like it was an hour. But yeah, it was super nice. And then while I was with Erica, my husband and daughter went to, they had a little daddy-daughter date, and I forget where he took her. Target, maybe? I don't remember where he took her to. But yeah, I guess Target, because across the street from the Target is the Color Me Mine that we did our painted pottery at. And so they went and picked that up. And you guys, I'm so impressed. Her little mermaid that she did, and I don't mean like the Little Mermaid, I just mean like a small mermaid figurine that she did. Super, super cute. I was really, really impressed with how it came out. She's really into painting right now, which we did a painting project for Father's Day, and I'll tell you guys about that in a few minutes. But it was super fun. They had a nice time together, and then because I don't do burgers and they do, they went and got smash burgers, and she was telling me how it was like the best burger ever. And she had it with onions, and the guy there was like, are you sure she's going to eat it with onions? And Briar ate it with, like, I got, like, the whole story, which was super cute. And, it's nice when we each get, like, our own one-on-one time with her. Sometimes it happens, like, super often, and other times it's very infrequent, but it's nice. It's good for her to, you know, reconnect, essentially. And to feel that, like, connection of just, I'm important, I'm loved, I'm taken care of, I'm safe kind of thing that you get when you're 100% of the attention is put on you. And, I really enjoy getting to do those moments with her, and I think my husband does as well. And, it's just, you know, it's good to hear that, like, she was good for him while I was gone, but also that, like, they had a lovely time together. But, you know, as a parent, you want your child to feel comfortable around you, but you also want them to feel comfortable around their other parent. So that was nice. And then it was super fun having dinner together, and Erica has a couple cats, and Briar was, like, chasing the cats and playing with the cat toys. And I don't know if I've ever said this to you guys here, but, like, my daughter is essentially a human cat. So she was fascinated with all the cat toys and the cat tree, and, like, I swear she is a cat. Guys, it is so hot up here. Ugh, I'm dreading the rest of the summer if it's that hot already. And I would love to put a fan, like, over this way, But then I know that it would be disastrous, like for my desk area, which I'm going to have to clean my desk off because I have got something to film. I'm excited for that. A company reached out to me, so I'll have an unboxing for you guys hopefully in the next couple days, which, you know, who doesn't love getting to share something with their friends, you know? Also, I'm really, really excited. I know I am probably a little late to the game on the Firefly Diamond Art trays, but you guys, I got a couple in the oops end of roll whatever. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, it's a 3D printed tray company, and they do like giveaways and these end of roll sales, which are when the filament is at the end and maybe they had to like swap it over to another color to finish it, or just isn't as perfect as the ones that they'd like to sell in their shop, and they sell them at a discounted rate. And I am very, very excited. I got a couple of those, and they, I think they're shipping this week, maybe. So I don't have them yet on hand, but I'm very excited to share them with you guys when they do come. And I've already ordered more trays, even though I haven't gotten the first trays. That's how confident I am. They are some of the most innovative trays that I've seen. Obviously, I can't attest to them quite yet because I don't have any on hand. But you guys, I'm very excited. And I'm sure someone in the comments is already like, oh my god, they're my favorite trays. They look super cool. And, you know, hopefully you guys enjoy seeing that content when I bring it to ya. Where did that color go? Excuse me. I would love to be taking a nap right now. I was hoping to film earlier. My husband and I had some chores to take care of. God damn. You guys, let's try this. Let's try with tweezers. If you guys are still here, you're the real MVPs. That just did not want to grab out of the container. Anyway, where am I? So, picked pottery. Okay. So then the next day, I'm sure I was just literally in the middle of a sentence and just totally forgot what I was talking about. So we're going to just pretend like that didn't just happen and move on. Oh, the diamond painting trays. So yeah, they have some of the most innovative things that I've seen out there, in terms of 3D printing and, the capabilities they have. So I'm really, really excited to test those out for you guys and for myself. Like, I literally am spending the money so that I can have them in my stash. I do not want to change the wax. Anybody else like that? I feel like I've asked this a million times. I just get like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but then I have to. Anyway, so the next day was Wednesday. Originally, we had changed my daughter's swimming from the morning to the afternoon. And then on the forecast, it was thunderstorms. Like, lots of them. And so I had reached out to her coach, and I had asked her, you know, do you still do the lessons if it rains? I know, like, if there's thunder and lightning, that's usually when they cancel things, but a lot of places will still do your outdoor whatever. Oh, there's a piece of broken drill in my pen tip. That's why it was not working. Well, I might as well change the wax while I talk to you guys. And so she was like, okay, well, let's keep our eye on the weather. And she said, I know you guys have a decent drive, so I'll let you know by 12:30 or whatever time it was. And I was like, okay. And then that time frame came around, and mind you, because of, did I just put that in the wrong? What color am I working on? Oh my god. I definitely think I just put that in the wrong one, but it's okay. Take a deep breath, Lindsay. She ended up canceling because the change in the weather was giving her a really bad headache, and she was just unable to Like some people, when they have like the change in barometric pressure, it really just makes it so that it's really like, it wreaks havoc on their body. So super long story short, we ended up not having the lesson. And then, I forget where we ended up we ended up doing something else that day. Although I literally just have swimming issue on my notes. Oh, no. Then she's like, can we change it to this day? And I was like, no, like I already have plans. And I was just like, it got a little bit frustrating because I understand that she's human and I have no problem with that. But I think she wanted to reschedule it for Friday. And I was like, we did reschedule it for Friday. And then something came up Friday and she's like, well, did you want to reschedule? And I was like, no, like, we'll just skip this week. I'm not going to keep putting her in her swim stuff. We were already out and about when she had let us know that she had to cancel the session. And I was like, well, now, oh, I know what it was. She was like, let's move it to Thursday. And I had my hair appointment. Okay, I'm all out of order here, you guys. This is what happens when I take my own notes that are crappy. So let's skip to Thursday then here. Thursday, I had an appointment to get my hair done. As I mentioned earlier, I dyed my hair pink. And I mean like hot pink. Like Gwen Stefani from No Doubt in the late 90s, hot pink. Okay, I know there was more of this color, and I just pulled it out. Why am I... What is happening here, you guys? Okay. I'm a mess. Excuse me. So, my husband was dropping me off to get my hair done, and then he was going to go take her to her swim lesson. And then when her swim lesson was over, he was going to grab a bite to eat with her and then come pick mommy back up. And that's great. That's fine. But the problem was we had already left the house because I had an appointment, and my appointment and her swim lesson were very close in time. So this was the easiest way to make both things work at the same time. And she was like, you know what? I'm just not going to be able to make it work. And I was like, oh. Mind you, my daughter is sitting in my car in a wetsuit, and we realize at that moment that neither of us grabbed the swim bag that had her change of clothes. So they were going to go do stuff, and I was like, well, that's going to be hard to do while she's literally sitting in a wetsuit. It was a dry wetsuit, but still, like, I mean, I guess nobody really would have batted an eye. She's a little kid, like, if she went into Target with a wetsuit on or whatever. But, and thankfully my husband was able to go home and change her and take care of all that. But I was just, like, super annoyed that we rescheduled our swimming, and then it got canceled while we had already left the house. And then she was like, well, how about tomorrow? And I was like, no, like, that's when it was supposed to thunderstorm. I don't have the monitor up here, but I can hear her, like, bouncing around down there. I literally just put both of these colors away and saw them again, and now I can't find them. This is one of the issues I have with working with, like, a ton of confetti. Anybody else like that? I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who, like, that's their dream. They're probably salivating over this kit, which, I mean, I am too, but not for that reason. There it is. Here we go. Concentrate, Lindsay. Don't forget what that was. So it was one of those things, like, I feel like this was one of those weeks where a lot of things had good intentions. They just didn't pan out, and it became very, very frustrating for me. And I was having a hard time, like, regulating myself and readjusting and just, you know, kind of going with the flow. Because I was like, if one more thing goes wrong, I'm not going to be able to handle it. And surprise, I got a very not so nice letter in the mail from someone. I'm not going to go into those details, but I realized that this person doesn't understand the difference between a threat and a boundary. And let me know that they're not going to tolerate my threats, which I set a boundary and I'm holding that boundary. And instead, they responded with a threatening letter, and I was like, this is not where I'm trying to go. Like, this is not how you make things better. Like, bullying me and coming down on me hard isn't going to make me go, oh, you know what? I take back everything I said. It's going to make me double down, if, you want to be honest here. And I was super frustrated, and I was just like, cool, this was not a great week. There were moments that were really good, but, like, in general, this was not my favorite week. I didn't think that I was gonna be super affected talking about this, even if it is in, like, generic terms. But, you guys, sometimes life has ways of throwing you curveballs that you think you'll be able to get around, and you just can't figure it out. And I'm being tested in ways that I didn't ever expect to be tested. And what they don't tell you is that being somebody who is, like, breaking generational trauma and things like that, like, how hard it really is. Like, it's really hard to say no to somebody you love. Because it's for your best, for your mental sanity, for your, it's what's best for you. And, this was just a situation in which somebody had let me know that, like, I had expressed to them, basically, you hurt my feelings. This is why you hurt my feelings, and I'm not going to stand for this kind of behavior again. And instead of saying, like, oh, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, let's move past this, let's work through it, whatever, it was like, well, you hurt my feelings, and you've been hurting my feelings, and the only feelings that are valid are mine because you hurt mine. And it's like, that was, like, the whole point of me setting the boundary, is because I'm tired of my feelings never mattering. And it's really frustrating when you have somebody that, and by the way, this is not about my husband, in case anyone's, like, hearing me say I love them, and, like, that's not what I'm talking about. It's just very hard and very frustrating, and I want my child to know that she is a human who deserves respect, whether she's 5 or 55. It doesn't matter. Like, she may just be a child, but she still deserves the same level of respect that any grown-up around her deserves. And I am human, just like she is human, and I make mistakes, and when I do or say something wrong, I apologize to her. I want her to see me holding accountability for myself and realizing that I'm not above that. And unfortunately, this particular person doesn't necessarily feel that way, even though I'm a grown-up with my own family. So it's a hard place to be at. And you guys, I'm sorry, I did not mean to. I know that it's not uncommon for me to, like, cry about something, and honestly, I had many years ago, a while ago, I had expressed to a friend of mine that my channel wasn't where I wanted it to be. I've since had a total change of heart, and I realized it's not about the amount of subscribers you have or followers you have or, anything like that. It's about the quality of those people that you have, and the ones who tune in week after week to hear my life story, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the ones who something in me they see in themselves, or they resonate with, or they feel comfortable with, or I make them feel safe, or whatever it may be. And at that point, I just hadn't realized, like, I just hadn't found my little corner of the internet yet. And that person just turned to me and said, well, then why do you do it? If you're not enjoying it. And it's like, we can all do things in this world that we love and just have like an off week or an off day, or just aren't loving it at that exact moment. It doesn't mean we should be giving up. And it was one of those situations that, like, I didn't know how to explain that, even though number wise I wasn't where I thought my channel should be, which again, I've long since moved past that. And I'm proud of my subscriber count, even if people who started after me have more, or people who are newer to the community grow more rapidly. Like, I love having this platform and being able to use it to express, like, the hard times I'm having in my life, because somebody else is going to understand what that's like, or it's just therapeutic to talk about it. I know not everybody's like that. I know there are people on here who, like, their WIP chats are literally just like shop talk. There's no, let me tell you about my personal life. And I think because of that, sometimes I have to find that line of what is now sharing too much. And I think sometimes I share too much in general, but, like, that's what trauma bonding is, right? Like, but it's just, that was really hurtful to hear from a friend that, like, her immediate instinct was like, well, why do you do it? And it's like, oh, well, okay. Sorry that I don't have the same response that you, like, want me to have, I guess. I don't know. It felt really weird, and needless to say, I don't have a relationship with that person anymore. But anyway, that was a super long tangent. Just know, whoever you are, that you deserve respect in this world, and you deserve the same respect, and you deserve to give the same respect to somebody who's an adult, or somebody who's a child, or somebody who is your adult child, or, you know, any situations. Like, my husband and I were talking about this. Like, we grew up in a generation where, you know, you would never hear a parent apologizing for doing something wrong, even if it was blatantly wrong. And I don't want to do that with my daughter. I want her, she deserves more than that. Who's cutting onions over here? Oh, God, I don't even know where I was at. So, Thursday, I also got an interesting phone call from my daughter's kindergarten. So, I don't know if I've explained this before. My daughter will go to kindergarten with everyone in the school district, and then in first grade, they split them up. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. It feels like a waste of, like, oh, hey, look, these are my new friends. And then, oh, hey, I'm not going to see them again until we're all in middle school or high school. You know, like, anyway, so they called me and they said, we'd like to schedule you for your kindergarten screening. Can you come in on blah, blah, blah date and time? And I was like, what? And they were like, your kindergarten screening, you weren't there. And I was like, I was told. If you guys didn't know, my daughter had an IEP meeting. She was fully assessed by the school. Super Cliff's Notes version. My daughter has had an IEP and some form of IEP since she was 15 months old. If you don't know what that is, it's an individualized education plan. Some people will have it for different accommodations and needs that they have, or for different diagnoses. Like, as a child, I had extended test taking available to me. I had the ability to take a test in a quiet space, things like that. So my daughter needs to be able to have permission to, and the ability to, like, move her body. Like, she does not learn well if she is confined to a chair and being told, sit still, stop moving, because then her brain just focuses on, just sit still, just sit still, just sit still, just sit still. Don't move, stop moving, don't move, stop moving, don't move, don't move. And then all of a sudden, now whatever they talked about, she's not even listening to, because she's just in her mind telling herself, stop moving around, stop moving around, stop moving around. And it's one of those things. So we had the meeting and they said, oh, when you fill out all the registration stuff, just pick whatever, there's a couple dates available for the kindergarten screening. She just pick one of them. You don't have to show up to it, because she's already had all of that done with us. So my daughter was fully assessed by the special ed department, the occupational therapist, speech pathologist, the school psychologist, and then they did like the evaluation to see, you know, how many letters and numbers and colors and shapes and all of that stuff she knew. So this woman's calling me and telling me I need to come in, and I was like, I already did all of that. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, we did that when we met with the school psychologist and the entire special education team. And she's like, oh, you did? And I was like, yes. And she's like, you've already been here? And I was like, yes. You talked to someone? I don't know how else to say this. Yes, my daughter was in a kindergarten classroom with some of the teachers. Like, I'm not sure what else they're expecting for me to say. And so she was totally dumbfounded and was like, oh, well, let me see if I can find out more information. And if you don't hear back from me, then you don't have anything to worry about. And I was like, cool. So we haven't even started kindergarten. And the level of communication is already not something I'm loving, but I'm hopeful that it will get better. I'm like super, super hopeful that it will get better, because if this is how it is like all school year, I'm going to lose my shit. Also, I don't know if this is the same for like where you guys live. We don't find out if our kid is AM or PM until 2 weeks before the school year, and when you get your class information. But the thing that is super frustrating about all of that is that we also don't have a universal list of supplies. So it's not like everyone in kindergarten needs a notebook and 4 pencils and a box of tissues or whatever the things are. And it sucks because a lot of things are starting to go on sale for back to school, or they're on clearance now for like end of school year before back to school. And I would love to stock up on certain things, but only if my child needs them. And I've spoken to other parents in the school district who were like, oh, my kindergarten only needed headphones. I'm sorry, what? Because they give the kids tablets to use for school, which I also don't like. That's a different story. But like, what? You're okay. You guys, like, they're not, I understand that we live in a technology age, but like, it can't all be digital, especially at 5 years old, because, how do you expect a child to stay within the limits of screen time? And no judgment if you're somebody who, like, your kid lives on screens, like, you do you. But my child is not going to absorb anything if she has, like, an iPod or an iPad or whatever the hell they are in front of her. She's just going to be, like, poking around at it. And it's like, cool. Do we not write with pencils anymore? And some people are like, oh, no, some teachers are, like, really hands-on. But other teachers, no, they're really tech-based. And I'm like, cool. Cool. So I can't wait. And I wish, it is so like anxiety inducing to like not have a clue. Like, I don't have a clue. I have no idea if she's going to get AM or PM. No idea about like the teacher assignments. Like, I have no idea. But yeah, I'm sure that's something that's like common with other like parents, not just like me sending my kid to this particular school. But you know, I like to prepare. I like to be taking care of things in advance, you know? But anyway, the next day we had to take our daughter to the pediatrician for something. And we were not seeing our regular pediatrician. She's totally fine, by the way. And it's so funny how like it brought me back to memories of like when Briar was a baby. This doctor always seems to be the one that's available for, like, when you need a last-minute appointment for something, like a sick visit, and not, you know, your regularly scheduled yearlies. And that was quite the fiasco. But I'll tell you guys a funny story about this, and then we'll move on, because I know this is not appealing to everyone. But when my daughter was a baby, we had seen this doctor. And she just was like she was not able to go to the bathroom, and you could tell it was really, she was upset. I mean, we're talking about baby, and she was just crying because she was in pain and all of these things. And so finally we tried everything that they told us to do, and nothing was working. And so we made an appointment. We brought her in to be examined to make sure it wasn't, you know, anything serious. And she like crawled over to the corner, like where the chairs were for the parents, and we just hear all these noises, and I was like, are you kidding me? Literally, as the doctor walks in, she's in the corner again as a baby, just pooping in the corner. And I was like, well, I guess we don't need this appointment. And that was a waste, because I had to pay for the appointment, even though like the doctor didn't even, I was like, never mind. And they just sent us on our way. And so it was the same room, and I was like, oh man, all these feelings coming back. I was also in there for another situation. She cut her own finger with her fingernail when she was a baby. Again, I don't know if you've ever been around babies, but like their fingernails are like super, super thin, but like razor sharp. And she just nicked herself, and it just bled. And I put her in my tub so I could get ready because it wouldn't stop. She was like bleeding through Band-Aids. It was a mess, and it looked like a tiny murder scene, but like little tiny bloody handprints all over my wall. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god. Of course, I walk in the door, literally sit down. She stops bleeding. I was like, oh my god. So, but you know what? That's what they're there for, right? The doctors are there to ease our mind on little things like this. And then, of course, he's like, you know, you should try to keep her fingernails a little bit shorter. I was like, thank you. Have you ever had to cut fingernails of a toddler that doesn't ever stop moving? Because, like, it's impossible. But yeah, that was fun. So slightly traumatic, but, because of that, I was like, you did a really good job at the doctor's office, and, you know, we'll go wherever you want for lunch. And she's like, okay. So we went to a place that we usually go to after school, and she was so excited. She loves their food, and they've got such an extensive kids menu, but she knew exactly what she wanted. She wanted mac and cheese with a side of fruit, and she was going to ask them, can I have just grapes? Because sometimes it's like they can pick out the grapes, or, you know, I think what it is they just have a bunch of fruit back there, and then when you get a side of fruit, they just grab a couple of each. But they are super, super accommodating of us, and, you know, they've told us, like, it's, like, absolutely it's not a big deal, because I don't want to inconvenience them either, you know? But yeah. It was an interesting... Where was that? Damn it. I lost this drill again. If anybody sees it, just let me know. It's not the one I was losing earlier. There it is. Whew. Anyway, where am I at? So, pediatrician. And then we... Fridays, we have a private lesson with her coach at our home rink. But they were having a hockey tournament that day, so there was no open ice at all. And so our coach said, well, how about we do it over at the other rink? And I was like, okay. So I live near Hershey Park. If you guys don't know what that is, it is an amusement park from the same people that bring you Hershey's candies. Hershey is a real town. It's in central Pennsylvania. It does have an amusement park. They also have an arena, and... that's where we were at for the lesson. And I, like, for the love of God, I could not figure out how to get to where we needed to go. I just put that color away, and it was super chaotic, but we got it. We got there. She had her lesson. And there was a girl working on, I think she was doing doubles. And, like, I could see, like, my daughter was so enthralled, like, just seeing this, like, this big girl doing all these cool moves, and, you know, she wants desperately to be able to do cool stuff one day, and, she's really, it's amazing to me how much she's learned and how much she's grown, but it's also kind of shocking to me of, like, I even said to her coach, I was like, I don't know what to do next, and she's like, well, I'll let you know, and I wanted to be like, could you let me know, like, before I need to know, because, again, I am not organized in life at all. But I don't like, it's weird. I like spontaneity, and I don't like things sprung on me. So that's a fun combination. It depends on, like, what the spontaneity is, or, you know, like, what the last minute, whatever is. But I want to be able to know, like, in advance, like, what our next course of action is. Do I need to sign up for a different kind of class? Do I need to worry about tests? Like, I don't know any of this stuff. And sometimes I feel very lost in the world of ice skating. But there's a little girl who, she's a couple years older than my daughter, and every time she sees us at the rink, she always says hello, and she has something very exciting to always tell me. And she's telling me because it's summer break, she's allowed to wear earrings that dangle a little bit, and she really likes my hair, and pink's her favorite color, and she's not allowed to have cool hair like that. And so her coach tells me, you know, like, this is a Catholic school kid. And I said, listen, I was a private school kid. I understand what this is like. We were not allowed to have, like, we had to have, like, neutral nails. We couldn't have earrings below our earlobes. Like, there was a lot of rules and regulations. And I just wanted to, like, look at her and be like, this is what happens when you grow up. When you're so, restricted from being able to do anything for so long, you rebel, whether you are, 14 or 40. And I don't think that I'm a rebellious person by nature. But, I don't think there are many people, especially in my age bracket, that are walking around with hot pink hair. I mean, I could be wrong. But especially where I live, no. Not at all. But it was nice skating over there. It's nice getting to skate at all the rinks. She gets, a little bit of like her feet wet and to know what the circuit is like out there. But then we just picked up some pizza for dinner, and literally on my way out, I dropped the pizza into a planter. So that was super fun. It was just like a couple slices. It wasn't like a whole pie. And then the guy comes running outside and he's like, "Oh my gosh, miss, are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine." Like, it's one of those restaurants that has a step up to get into the restaurant, and then you walk in the door, and then there's a step down. It's a really terrible layout, and I know that I'm not the first person who's had an issue with it. And I even knew that there was a step, and I still tripped and dropped my food. Fortunately, nobody's food was ruined, so, there was that. We didn't really do anything on Saturday. Sunday, we celebrated Father's Day, and I am running out of time, so I think I'm going to leave you guys here. I'll let you guys know all about what we did on Father's Day next week, I guess. But that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you hung in for this one, I gotta say kudos to you. I have been all over the place. I don't know. Leave me an emoji in your favorite color, whatever that color may be. Mine is blue. Fun fact, if you didn't know that. Probably obvious by like the fact that I always have like blue accessories on my desk. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm done rambling. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys enjoyed this and you'd like to see more content like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record my tiny human sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!